Hello and welcome to my channel called Conversation Corner. As you guys know, on my channel I like to talk about words and how they play a very important role in shaping our beliefs. So I'm making this video series called Mental Language Series in which I highlight the importance of words and how we use them and how they're shaping our thoughts, beliefs and from there our actions. Today I want to talk about something very urgent and it needs attention. We all know we're growing up in a generation of instant gratification. A lot of men call themselves kings now, a lot of women call themselves queens now. This is the trash that is being sold through traditional self help right now. So, the idea is if you call a guy a king, he will see himself as someone great and he'll take action towards making himself great. Or if you call a woman a queen, she'll see herself as a queen and act with the belief and actions that she's a queen, and so on and so forth. Now, the problem with calling someone a king when he's not is this: kings have empires, kings have subjects, and it's a king's job to ensure that there's justice in their land. This whole idea with self help of calling someone a king right now is to just make him feel great and give him a very small sense of temporary motivation to take some action. Now, most of that is going to fall flat on its face because when you pursue something that you're not devoted to, you can't stay very long with it. It's very easy to give up doing something you really don't have a flair for or something you don't wish to do at all, which is why this whole idea of calling guys kings in the self-help section is flawed because firstly many people are not going to reach their goals that they have, whatever it may be, by calling themselves kings. And secondly, even if they do get that, they become even more dangerous people for their environment. I'll tell you why. A king's job is to ensure that there is justice in the kingdom, and a king's job is to ensure that his subjects are well taken care of. The danger with this self help trend of calling everyone a king is people are trying to build a status as such that everyone else beneath them keeps supplying them adulation and praise and money, of course, and that's how these people build themselves up. So it's not about taking care of your community as a leader would. It's about amassing as much as you can for your own personal enjoyment. Not to say that there's something inherently wrong with that, but as we know, a king's job is to take care of his subjects. What people are describing is in self-help is not a king. That they're trying to describe a warlord or a tyrant who will take over one place, who will pillage that place and loot its resources. So having this thought process of a very combative worldview can be misplaced. I understand that through biology, we are designed to see the world as a very hostile place where you either kill or you be killed, you eat or you are eaten. But we are past those times. We're not in the Stone Ages, we're not in the medieval ages. We live in civilizations right now. And although we have brains that are thousands of years old, it's time that we use our conscious mind to guide this lizard or reptilian brain, however we call it. Because if we see the world through the lens of combat and we see everyone as an enemy, our our fight or flight system will always be on. And if our fight and flight system is always on, we'll never be at rest. We'll never be at peace with what we have. So what you'll find is people who become successful adopting these worldviews, right? Even though they start getting what they want, it's never really enough for them. Think about this. No matter how much money you have, if you don't have friends to enjoy your success with, you do feel very hollow to a certain extent. And no matter what clothes you buy, no matter what car you drive, that's really no substitute for people who really want the best for you, and enjoy your company. So when people say be a king or be a queen, what they're trying to do through the self help is trying to give you very selfish fuel. And I understand that the core nature of a human being is to be selfish, right? You care far more about you losing your job rather than your neighbor losing their job. But there has to be some limit to this, because even though we may call ourselves individuals, we operate within a society where what I do affects the other person and what the other person does affects me, right? So, if we want to really improve our lot in life, it's not good to have this hierarchical idea of always being above others, but it's very useful to serve others. Very few people will refuse your help if you actually want to help them, let's say free of cost, right? And when you help people, they appreciate it and they remember it. Now, the problem with people who complain of being taken advantage is when they give help, they're expecting something in return. So, what they wanted was a transaction. Hey, I give you this, you give me this, but they weren't very honest. So they just said, let me help you. And when they didn't get anything in return, they started feeling resentful. What you can do right now is try not to be a king, try to be a servant. Now, this will sound like I'm turning everything on its head, because everything in self help is about self aggrandizement and showing yourself to be the best. But if we study the history of people who did rise to the stature of kings, everyone started as a servant, and as they built trust with people who were already high up and above, they went up the ranks. So, the way you climb on top is to put yourself below first, serve first, and that is how you get to lead others, and that is how you eventually rise on top. Right now, what everyone wants to do is they want to glorify themselves and they want to garner a large chunk of attention and build an audience on the basis of that. And it does work for a lot of people, definitely. But what happens is you don't end up building a community. So you're the only person who ends up winning, and if you always win in the games you play, very soon you're not going to be invited. Which is why it is crucial that as you are growing yourself, you grow others with you. It is hard to put this into practice because since we were children, we've been trained for competition and individual glory. So, very few of us know what it's like to succeed with a team. And as men, especially, that's really hard to do because we are hardwired for glory and fame at an individual level rather than at a group level. So it's something that needs to be worked on. But if you can find that servant spirit in you that makes you serve other people before wanting to rule over them, it's a much better way to gain influence. So hope you can take something away from this, and if you like the video, do comment. I will see you in the next video.